And hello, all. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Fierce Review. This is Lala Madness, and you know where to reach me at on all social media platforms at Lala Madness, and as well on Instagram at Lala Madness _official. So, in this episode of the Fierce Review, we're actually going to be talking about Wells Fargo's new settlement for car loans. So, for those of you that actually have had a car loan through Wells Fargo, I suggest you listen up because this is for you. Now, Wells Fargo rather, recently reached a $394 million settlement for charging people with an auto loan mandatory, along with basically mandatory auto loan insurance. So, say you get your loan, then you're basically mandated to sign up for this insurance that really is not mandatory. Just to make your premium go higher as far as your car note. So you're factoring in basically your actual car note, which is one amount, and then they tack that on, and then you have a ballooned amount of what you should actually be paying. So they basically have been having everyone sign up for a type of insurance, basically through National General Insurance Company. And those that are affected would have been affected from getting auto loans from 2005 all the way until 2016, which is a long ass time. Now, basically, forced plan or forced placed insurance basically is where banks, mortgages, and insurance companies force you to get insurance on your loan and charge you extra money, like I mentioned. They can still also repossess the items if the payment is not paid. But being that your payments are automatically higher by this mandatory insurance, they don't care about that. They'll still repossess it. And it's basically going to be due to the extra payments that you really shouldn't have had to pay in the first place. So why is Wells Fargo experiencing so many class action lawsuits over definitely the last 2 years? Every time I turn around, Wells Fargo is doing something, or basically they've been doing it for years. We, the consumers, are just now finding out about it. So I've never had a car loan through Wells Fargo, luckily for me. But if you have, you might want to find out the settlement information on that, because some of that $394 million could be yours, because a lot of people were affected by having their cars repossessed and negative things on their credit report and things of that nature due to you not being able to make the payments. Okay, so that's really weird, but at the end of the day, it's business, and that's what they're going to call it. So, along with recent Wells Fargo class actions, we do know of the one prior to that, which in December of 2018, $575 million in total, went to another Wells Fargo settlement in regards to them adding additional things onto people's accounts with them not knowing. And then there's extra things that happen along with that we'll talk about as well. So now in the 2018 settlement of $575 million, that does include fees and fines and things of that nature that they actually incurred, along with the class action. So that's not just it in its totality. Okay. So 3.5 million unauthorized credit card and bank accounts were opened without the consumer's consent, as well as 528,000 online bill pay enrollments were stemming from questionable sales practices. More than 6,500 simplified life insurance policy or renter's insurance applications submitted improperly, and payments made without permission from customers' accounts. Like auto draft your shit right on up out of there. Wells Fargo, you ought to be damn ashamed. But you're not. You just rack up all the money and then you pay this little bitty fine, and then half the people end up getting $40 because it's so many millions of people affected by that time. The check you get is nothing compared to the damages that you ensued. Trust me, just because it says class action doesn't mean that it's, going to work out in your favor. Okay, that's kind of what that means. That doesn't mean you get back everything that you lost. But you could possibly try to sue them individually, but then they kind of have some protection with the class action there. So it ends up being not in your favor at the end of the day anyway. But that little bitty fine and that class action, the amount from the class action and the fines don't add up to what they actually got from fucking over everybody. Okay. They still got some change from that, especially for the amount of years that they were doing it. Now, they also got more than 800,000 auto loan consumers charged for unneeded insurance, including thousands whose cars were repossessed, as I mentioned, with the new lawsuit or the new class action that just came out. It was 800,000 people that were affected by that. So you take that 800,000, well, more than 800,000, and then you kind of put that in with the millions, the 394 million. You figure out pretty much what everybody gets, but then you also have lawyers involved, so you know they get their cut off the top. Yeah. So about 110,000 borrowers improperly charged for mortgage rate lock extension fees as well. That's probably was some extra shit that they added on for some extra change. Now, failure to properly refund auto loan guaranteed asset protection, which is your gap insurance, to customers in California, where Wells Fargo is headquartered, will receive the largest cut of $148.7 million. Now, Wells Fargo was fined $150 million for more than 5,000 of the bank's former employees opening up as many as 2 million fake accounts in order to get sales bonuses. Because you know about that call center life. Sell, sell, sell. We don't care what you have to do. Basically, do what you need to do to get that account open. That account counts as a sale. And they really don't give a damn at this point, being that there's so many different types of accounts that they're opening. They're just opening random damn accounts. It doesn't matter. Like I said, homeowners, car insurance, health and life insurance, all of that. They don't care. That in any kind of insurance and any kind of additional account works just fine. And the money that they've probably gotten off of that just on the sales team alone is going to be ridiculous. Now, they also agreed to a new $240 million settlement over claims that its executives did not do enough to address the issues that led to the bank's massive fake account scandal in the first place. This will actually pay the bank, which I guess so they could recoup some of their money that they're actually paying out. So it's like they're ordered to pay this amount, but then they're going to get back the $240 million, including their legal fees. Now, a group of the bank shareholders also sued the bank, claiming that the bank and its executives made misrepresentations and omissions about the bank's cross-selling business model, where bank employees were rewarded for getting customers to open up multiple accounts. And last year, they did agree to the $480 million settlement with those said shareholders. So the shareholders that own some of Wells Fargo also got a double dip because they got made off the profits that the accounts were being opened from. And then they also sued for $480 million, which then they ended up being able to split that. So they just collected money all the way around from all ends to recoup pretty much everything that they've ended up having to pay out, which is ridiculous. Like, it's all business. Business has so many loopholes to where you're still protected to a certain extent, and the consumers basically have to just eat it. Or they get this little bitty class action lawsuit amount that looks like a lot of money, and it's really not, like I mentioned. So now they have this $394 million settlement because they're having people sign up for an insurance that's not even needed on a car loan. You know where not to do business at. If you have a Wells Fargo account, some people just refuse to change their bank. They've been there for years. Do what you do, whatever works for you. But it won't be me going to go walk up in there and just open up a new account with Wells Fargo. I will stay with the bank that I'm with, my credit union. Thank you very much. Because this here, all that's too much. Tell me what you think. Also, let me know if you've had issues with Wells Fargo as well and how it turned out for you. But it may have turned out for you all right if you got a piece of that little settlement. And also, there's actually time frames that you would need to actually sign up to claim your part or portion of the class action money that's there. And if you miss that window, then you're kind of stuck and ass out. So I suggest you follow up. And also check the settlements, and also Wells Fargo has a settlement site to let you know kind of what's going on with certain things. So I suggest you check that out. Let me know what you think. Let me know what happened to you. Any stories out there? I'm open. Comments, like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. And until we meet again, Lala Madness, I'm out.